welcome to Dee Talk Live Thursdays. I hope everybody is really well and life is treating you amazingly and you have had a great day. Today we are speaking about one of the biggest controversial topics known to man, and something that really affects me because it affects the younger generation to a high scale, to a high standard, and also to society. It's an underlining topic that is huge, even though we are going through a pandemic, which is what they're saying we're going through. I think this is the biggest pandemic because it's suicide. It's suicide amongst our society. It's suicide that's affecting us as a whole. And it's suicide that's not being brought forth in regards to mental health and being reported on. This is what should be reported on. I understand through news corporations and media that this topic is quite substantial in the sense that it is a sensitive topic, but the more exposure and awareness we put out, the more it underlines and defines what we need to do, how we need to help, and what we need to bring forth in order to help not only the younger generation, but as a whole, regardless in this community. Hi Strat, how are you? Thank you for joining me. So thank you for joining me. All of you, thank you for joining me. You guys are beautiful. This message is really important, and whoever's watching tonight, please share this live in particular, because the message needs to go out. People need to know what's actually happening and what we haven't been told about, and what basically needs to be addressed as a society in a whole, you know, because there is so much happening at the moment and so many people are shying away from it. They're like running away from it and they don't know how to deal with it. So today I'm presenting this live in order to give some light to the situation, but to also help with what's going on, because we need to work together in order to get this happening and to help these people, because it is mental illness is a number of things, and they classify it as mental illness. Mental illness spans from different conditions. From mental illness, we have anxiety, depression, we have schizophrenia, we have eating disorders, which are huge. We have image. They all come into context. So we have so many things going on at the moment, and this is the pandemic. This is what is going on. Not an actual influenza, I'm sorry, but you know, in all honesty, this needs to be addressed first and foremost because it's so much more important, you know? So over 75 of mental health issues occur before the age of 25, which is huge. While suicide continues to cause the largest loss of life of young people in Australia, which is why I'm addressing this topic so much. And I've had friends who have lost their daughters, their sons, because it's come to a point where people, you know, I can't help these teens or these millennials or this generation because it's become so hard. And you've got to commend these families and these parents because they're doing the right thing. They're doing their job, you know? So mental health is often used as a substitute for mental health. So mental conditions, you know, as I said, could be anything from anxiety and schizophrenia and depression and others, you know, even, you know, because it goes into demographics as well. So you have demographics of cultural diversity. So being treated unfairly in regards to your cultural background, not feeling accepted by society. That's something that I never knew, that I never thought that would have affected people that have come from backgrounds such as Sudanese families or cultures, or Muslim cultures, because of their religion. Like, it shouldn't be that way. And that's where subcontext and criticizing and judging the person is not the way to go. Everybody's got SHIT going on, everyone's got their life, and you've always got something that's happening in your life. No one's perfect. Everyone has flaws, but that's what makes those flaws so beautiful, Hey, Natasha. Oh, you're beautiful. Huge topic that needs to be discussed. Thanks, Sonia. I think so as well, because, it's pretty much ignored, and, so it's something that really, really, it really affects me, and I feel like crying, to tell you the truth, because we don't care, and life is about caring about people and being there for people, and it's on a massive scale what's going on, in our society, and in relatively in the world, it's really big. So I actually have some statistics as well, which are great, and some details for everyone to pass on to people, or to give to people that need it, These statistics are taken from the Black Dog Institute website. I've also done some research through Beyond Blue, which is amazing. I'm sure a lot of these kids, even at high schools, primary schools, it affects them. They start, as I said, from the age of 25, even underlying problems at the age of 12. I know that for a fact. And they amount, to a moment where there is nothing left. They just feel helpless. I was even researching today the Beyond Blue, and there was a snippet of some girl, I think, and she was just so negative and so fed up on life, and just kept on putting herself down, and that she wasn't good enough. And my message is, you are good enough. You can do anything in your life, and you need that support network, and people are here to help you. So whoever's hearing this, I am here to help you. If no one else does, I am here. I'm here. You contact me, and I'm going to help you. Every year, over 65,000 Australians make a suicide attempt. I know, huh? I didn't know that. Because this is not reported, right? Things like masks are reported because they're so much more interesting and so much more important, yet, apparently. More than 3,000 Australians died by suicide in 2017. So literally 3 years ago. And we had no idea about that either, because it's taboo apparently. It's not a real thing that's happening, It's not supposed to be reported, Suicide is the leading cause of death for Australians between 15 to 44 years of age, which is what I was saying. This is what you call a pandemic, not an influenza that can be treated, right? This is what we need to address. This is what we need to help. This is what we need to work together for. And I'm going to go to every school, and I'm going to go to every university, and I'm going to fight for these kids like no one's ever fought for them before. I don't care. I might not be qualified, but I'm a professional, right? And I stand by my right. I'm a humanitarian, and I will help them in order for them to get the help that they need, that we need to offer them. And that's where you guys need to play a part and do exactly the same thing. Okay? That's what Dee Thinks is. We need to help society, people, right? Young Australians are more likely to take their own life than die in motorcycle vehicle accidents. Do you believe it? I do, because half the time, we're not even told about what's going on. No one even, fathoms it. No one understands what's going on because no one's been told, no one's been educated. These are the things that we should be educated upon. What's going on? What's happening? Research. Do not listen to what they say. You research for yourselves in order for us to get this topic out there, for people to be aware of what's going on, and for us to help as a community whole. Funnily enough, this was where I was like, oh my God, men make up an average 6 out of every 8 suicides every single day in Australia. You'd think it was women, huh? That's why I used to say, with schools, you don't only address the girls, because the boys are more inclined to do exactly what I just said. They are more passive. They're not as expressive. They're in a logical sense. They're not in an emotional sense. They come out differently and they express themselves differently. That's why they need someone just to be there. They've got to be a bit more privatized in order to get that message through, for them to understand, because they get embarrassed. It's a male trait. It always has been. When they're younger as well, they're going through puberty. They don't understand any better. You know, women, in fact, 1 in 6 women in Australia will experience depression, and 1 in 3 women will experience anxiety during their lifetime. And I am one of those statistics, because when I was 19, I experienced anxiety full force. And I helped myself, and I saw others who helped me, and I went into a time warp where I was able to dissect specific things in my life to make me feel that whole lot better. And when they say to you, you know, something is wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you. It's part of your life learning. It's what you're supposed to go through in order for you to learn things in your life. You know, regardless of your circumstances, life is not perfect. People have got bad upbringings, you know, parents doing drugs, and the kids are just paying for it. Abusive relationships, abuse and violence towards these kids. That's where they need to be educated and helped, because they're vulnerable. They're in that state where they don't know what to do, you know. Women also experience post-traumatic stress, so disorder, and eating disorders at higher rates than men. So we have our negatives and our positives. With women especially, it's always about image, always, because they've got insecurities. They miss the self-confidence side of things. They need to be lifted up. Everyone needs to be lifted up to that dynamic. And that's what I was saying about image and body image. That's what I've always spoken about it. You know, we need to say that it's okay not to be okay, right? And the way that you are is the way that you were supposed to be and built. And that if you do have a problem, or there is something that you're not happy with, work upon it. Or get somebody else to help you to work with it. You know, work with you with it. I vote for you and I'm with you. Natasha, you're beautiful. Exactly. Suicide has claimed more lives around Australia than COVID has, and will continue to do so well after this virus disappears. Exactly. Because they're already in that mental capacity, that mental state, where now they're pretty much quarantined in the sense where they're isolated and they're put in a box, and then they feel that there's nowhere else for them to go. It's the mental state. It's the way that they think. It's not right, you know. It's their form of thinking because they're not well, and that's where they need us to help them get better. You know, there's so many. I was actually really affected by one that I had seen on Beyond Blue today, and it sounded like somebody that I knew, and it really, really, really upset me. So I actually connected with that person, and I said, are you okay? I'm here. You know that I'm here for you. If you need anything, you know, I'm always going to be here. I love you, and I want you to know how much I care about you. Pardon me. And the person actually sent me back a message because she wasn't answering the phone. And she told me, I'm okay, don't worry, I can't wait to come see you. You know, hopefully the restrictions, you know, end and we're able to see each other and, you know, to come and visit you because I miss you. That's all I needed. And that was the best thing that I did, because it really, really does affect me. Like, this whole topic, it just affects me so much because it hasn't been brought out to the full front, you know, of what's actually happening. According to the Bureau of Statistics and the Black Dog Institute as well, which I got heaps of my information from as well, in 2017, about 75% of people who died by suicide were males. I know, crazy, huh? And 25 were females. In 2017, the suicide rate amongst Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people was approximately twice that of non-Indigenous Australians. So you can tell there something's going on there as well. They need as much support as any person. And they've got issues that haven't been addressed either. So all demographics are affected by this deadly pandemic that I'm saying, you know. Emergency numbers. So if anybody needs to know or you don't know, obviously the emergency services, as we know, are 000. If you want to know about Lifeline number is 131114. The Kids Helpline is 1-800-55-1800. Suicide Callback Centre is 1300-659-467. Beyond Blue is 1300-224636. So please use those at your capability, these numbers. Use all that information to try and help someone. Always check in. You know, and I love this whole Are You Okay website that's come into effect. You know, it took them time, but you know what? If it's this pandemic that apparently we're going through, that had to happen in order for them to do this, then you know what? I support it. It got there in the end. You know, divine timing, as they say. So if you know someone or assume that something is going on with that person, just ask them those simple words, are you okay? Because those words actually might help and save them. So ask, listen, encourage, action, and always check up on them, check in on them, make sure they're okay, because most of the times they're not. That's why we need to be there for them and, you know, support them. And especially in cases of young kids, they're only learning who they really are at that specific point of their lives. And life does get hard on them because all generations are different. That's what I was trying to say. This generation is pressured to be a specific way when they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be expected to do anything that any of us haven't done. Or, you know, they shouldn't be expected to be seen in a specific way where, you know, everybody else has or hasn't been, you know. It's all about helping one another. And that's where we haven't been lately. And that's where now, this is the time. This is the time to get up as all generations unite and bring love and are able to bring in that dynamic of love and unity and help people around you. Wherever you see someone needing help, you help them. Be that person that people are going to remember for the rest of their lives. Even if it's a small gesture, you've changed the perspective and insight of that person. Regardless of how they're feeling, one day they might be feeling like they do want to take their own lives. But then you come along and make that small difference and change their perspective for the rest of their lives. That's why. Don't ignore it. Don't laugh at it. Address it and be there for that person. Be as passionate as I am and bring everyone together in order to help people and help what's going on and save lives, you know, like, let's do this, guys. Let's do it. Come on, we have to. That's what we're about, you know, we're humans at the end of the day. And as I said, you're not going to be perfect because we weren't made that way. We're always made with flaws. That's what makes us so beautiful. So never ever think that you're alone. What Dee Thinks is here. I'm here. I'm always going to be here for you. Whoever is listening to this, please share. Please get the message out. Let's do this as a collective, you know, and push that message across and forth in order for us to make a difference in the world and stop mental illness from taking lives and stopping it from taking, you know, young lives that, you know, need our help, and need us to do what we need to do. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's a full-on topic. I know it's a controversial topic, but it's so needed to be addressed. Please ask people, are you okay? And talk to them, you know, let them confide in you and express the way that they feel, because the more bottled up they are, the more the emotions eat at them, and the more they don't feel like being in this beautiful world that we call Earth, you know, like, we've got to do it, guys. I love you all so much. Have an amazing evening, and I'll see you guys on Monday for Dee Love Talk Live. I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, yeah? Bye. See ya.